Welcome to the Chamber Neighbors Podcast, where we connect community and commerce. We are your hosts. This is Daniel Rendelman with the Chapin Neighbors Magazine.
And I'm Paul Sadler with the Greater Chapin Chamber of Commerce.
During our show, we will highlight friends, education, nonprofits, events, business, government, and all the things that make Chapin an amazing place to live, work, play, and stay. Now today we're on our first episode. We want to welcome all of our listeners, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the Chamber Neighbors Podcast is all about and kind of what we're doing here, Paul. What are we doing?
Daniel, I don't know what we're doing, but this is going to be an adventure, right? So this is going to be a lot of fun. And, I think one of the main things that we want to do and offer our listeners is the opportunity to hear from our community. We want them to hear from those folks who, like you just said, who are in business, who are in education, nonprofits, the government. We want to hear from them. We want to know what's going on from folks who are in our backyard.
Yeah, and you mentioned that this is an adventure, and every adventure has a story, and has heroes that are part of that story. So talking to the local
Wait,
heroes,
are we the heroes? Are we the heroes?
I think you're the antagonist.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. No. So I guess we could be the heroes as well, that are part of that story. At least we're the hero for today. For today.
It's about me and you.
Right. Today it's about us and kind of what's happening. And, we've really seen that there's a need. There's a need for that connection. We have many ways to reach the community, and we do some amazing things here that are part with the chamber and other things with nonprofits. However, telling that story, getting to know business leaders, community leaders, neighbors, that's pretty important, wouldn't you say?
I think so, yeah. It's important to hear from our neighbors. It's important to hear from the folks who are living and breathing in this community, and what makes them tick and why they do what they do, because everybody's got a story, right? And we want to hear those stories from people, and we want to sort of hear their why behind what they do.
Yeah, I like that. And it's not just information, it's also some inspiration here on the Chamber Neighbors Podcast. And I read recently that the average American has not spoken to their next door neighbor in 3 weeks, in 21 days. And how sad is that?
Wow, that is sad.
But Paul, have you spoken to your...
I have. I have actually. We had them over yesterday.
Yeah, I spoke and said, can you move your trash can? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, so it is important. It's important to know your neighbors, your literal neighbors, and your neighbors in your community. It's like I just said, everybody's got a story, and people want to tell their story. We want to truly know about our neighbors and our friends and our community members.
And our goal is to put this out at least weekly. We'll drop some episodes pretty regularly as there are things going on, happening, as we're meeting other folks. And who are we going to be talking to? Is it just me and you every week?
I hope not, Daniel. I love you, but I don't know if we can do this every week and just be the Paul and Daniel show. No, but we're going to talk to anybody who will want to talk to us, Daniel. We want to talk to those community leaders. We want to talk to those nonprofit folks. We want to talk to people, in Lexington County, Richland County government, the town of Chapin. We want to talk to our business folks. We want to know what makes them tick. We want to talk about what keeps them up at night.
Right.
We want to know how they got started. We want to talk to our neighbors. Maybe I can invite my neighbors on the show. Maybe we could invite them.
They could prove that you did speak to them recently.
We might need that proof.
So, but in that in mind, the conversations, sharing with folks, we often don't know what is going on behind the scenes. And so this is going to be that platform to be able to do that. But to begin, Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah. So I have a wife. Her name is Amanda. She's pretty amazing. She is a first grade teacher at Piney Woods Elementary School, just right down the road in Amexbury. I've got two kids, Addison and Ethan. Addison is in high school and Ethan is in the middle school. And so we just love to do things as a family. And I've been here at the Chamber now for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years in just a couple of months, which is, it is so hard to believe. I have no idea, but here we are. And over the course of the 3 years, man, I tell you, it's some of it's been trial and error, but it's all about relationships, and it's about those relationships that you form. And And Daniel, you know this. You were one of the first board members who I chose as one of our newest board members. And so developing those relationships like with you and other folks is what makes this community all about.
And what's the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce? It's an awesome house, next to the high school.
Right.
But it's more than just a house, right? It's more than just a sign. What is it?
It's about community. It's about commerce, and it's about culture. And those are those three principles that we mainly focus on. And those three principles are in our mission statement. So we want to promote commerce, which is business. We want to promote community, the literal community and the figurative community, where the feeling of community, and the culture. What does our culture say about, what does Chapin's culture say about us?
And it's not just a Chamber of Commerce, but also a visitor center.
What does that mean? The visitor center. Man, so I tell you, when people are moving to this area or thinking about moving to this area, because we all know there's a lot of people who are moving here, they call us. They stop in the visitor center, and they want to know about places to eat. They want to know about places they can volunteer, places that they can work. They want to know the ins and outs of Chapin. They want to know where to live, and how much really is lake property on Lake Murray, things like that. And they just want to know.
And people stop by, getting off the interstate. One of the first places they stop by to see.
It is, it's like when you go to a hotel for the first time, where you go to a certain area and you're in the hotel and you're looking for things to do, and they've got those brochures out there, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to go play mini golf, or oh yeah, I want to eat at this restaurant. Well, that's what people do here. They stop in, they get off the interstate, they come see us, and we just have a great conversation
and the staff
with
here.
them. The staff
so
is
welcoming.
Amazing. We've got Tracy, who's up front at the visitor center, and then we've got Gail Dora, who is our director of partner engagement. And man, they do a great job. I can't do what I do without them. So they're a great staff.
We're really blessed to have them as part of the community.
They are, and they're all about the same things I'm about. It's all about relationships and forming those relationships, and they do a great job with that.
Excellent.
So, Daniel, I'm going to flip the script on you. You asked me about me. So, Daniel, I'm going to ask you about you.
You're not going to ask me about you?
You can ask me.
Okay.
Wait, ask me about me?
Who's on first?
You.
Okay. So this is Daniel Rendelman. I'm married to Sarah. And together we have 9 children.
Wait, what? How many?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Brady Bunch to yours, mine, and ours, and that's it. So 9 kids. We are very blessed with that. Live here in the Chapin community. Publish the Chapin Neighbors magazine. Have been doing that since 2019. I grew up in the area. And our publication is really made to create a marketplace where people find, use, and recommend trusted businesses, and we are able to bring people together so that neighbors become friends. And we tell stories in the magazine. We also work together with April Robinson. She's our content coordinator. Many folks know her. She actually worked here at the Chamber.
She worked here before my time.
Before you.
But I do know April very well. She's awesome.
Yeah, many years she worked here, and having that connection with her. So our publication comes out monthly, and it's just a blessing to be able to share stories because, most magazines, they have staff writers, staff photographers. Everything we do is kind of like social media, but it's social.
In print.
Right, and it's in print. It's social media. Yeah. That's actually nice, and it's social. That's there. So anything in the community that Sarah and I can do just to have an impact to make things better, we want to involve ourselves with as really have.
It's a great magazine, I don't just tell you that because you're sitting next to me, but it really is good. And I know our listeners can't see, but in my office back here, I've got some comfortable chairs. And I tell you, every month that magazine comes out, Daniel, I sit in those chairs or the chair, and I read your magazine from front to back. I mean, It is really a great magazine because it's about our community. How many times have I already said that word? Community. It is all about community. It's all about relationships. And I think what you do and what I do mesh really well. And hey, that's why we're here, right?
That's why we're here. That's why it's the Chamber
Neighbors
podcast.
Right.
It's like a symbiotic relationship, and it just works so well together in highlighting that. So that's what we're all about, and that's what we want to be about with this podcast. And we want to feature all of our readers and the listeners and just everyone that's part of a community. Now, what about nominations? We just want to have anybody on? Or we're open for that, right?
Hey, let us know. Yeah, you can email me, Paul at ChapinChamber.com, or you can email Daniel.
Yes, Daniel. That's D. Rendelman at bestversionmedia.com. That's a long one.
That's a long one.
Why don't we just
email me,
Paul
at ChapinChamber.com. You can reach out to me if you want to be on our podcast. And even if you don't email me or Daniel, we might email you, or we might phone call you and see if you want to be on our podcast, because we do want to feature you. We want to feature your story. We want to feature why you do what you do.
And just looking ahead for those, we're going to be welcoming our police chief, Thomas Griffin, for an episode very soon. We've also have other community leaders, business leaders. And as we're growing organically, telling stories, this could be a hub where people can come and learn more about Chapin and about our community.
That's awesome. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Chapin to really hear from Chapinites and folks who work in and around this area to see what a great community we really do have.
We are very blessed. So, folks, this wraps up our first episode.
That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
so hopefully this will sound all right. No.
Let's hope so.
People were tuning in and will continue to tune in as we bring you community commerce and all the things that make Chapin an amazing place.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
This has been the Chamber Neighbors Podcast, where we highlight all that makes our community special. We hope you've enjoyed this time together, and we'll subscribe and share these episodes. Till next time, neighbors.